All right, everybody, we are live. We're back here for the morning macro. You may notice I have very festive attire on. This is my llama Christmas sweater. So I have Instagram open on my phone. I have YouTube, Facebook group on the computer. So we're going to dive into some holiday weight gain stuff. So if you really kind of notice and pay attention to a lot of the kind of headlines around holidays and stuff like that, one of the things you'll notice is that there's kind of a big discussion around holiday weight gain. You'll hear narratives from like, hey, here's how you prevent the holiday weight gain. Here's what you need to do to prepare to take it off. And in reality, there is a lot of science that we know about the holiday weight gain. And one of the things I want to do kind of in this show today is talk to you guys a little bit about how much do you really need to worry about it? What's the magnitude of the holiday weight gain? And then how does that translate into a lot of our daily lives, right? And what that means over a long period of time. So when we actually look at the research, and we can look at U.S. culture, we can look at kind of overseas European culture, we can look at different age groups, whether it's college kids, whether it's um, adults, whether it's seniors, etc. And what we really know is that the weight gain fluctuates a little bit, but the actual average weight gain over the holidays, and so that means basically like Thanksgiving to through the end of Christmas, that kind of holiday season, the actual weight gain amount is around a pound, right? That's it. Now, there's a lot of fluctuations day to day. You may see huge spikes in the scale from water weight, but the actual true body weight gain is somewhere in the neighborhood of a pound. If you look at the percentage of people, some people actually lose weight. I'd say probably 5 to 10% of people lose weight during the holidays. Probably 5 to 10% of people gain more than, actually, probably more like 15% of people gain more than the pound. But on average, most people gain right around 1 to 2 pounds during the holiday season. So that doesn't seem like much, right? And that really isn't that much. So when we think about that, like if you're trying to prevent 10 pounds of weight gain, or you're trying to um, prevent 1 pound of weight gain, the differences in what you need to do that are substantially different, right? So if you're trying to prevent 1 pound of weight gain during the holidays, that really means you probably need to figure out how to not consume or expend somewhere in the neighborhood of 3,000 to 5,000 calories. That's roughly what equates to about a pound. So some of the easy tips that we can give you guys in terms of like, hey, how do I actually maybe prevent this is if you add a few extra days a week at the gym between Thanksgiving and Christmas, like let's say you go from 4 days a week to 5 days a week for that 5, 6 week span, that's probably going to be enough to try to offset that. Maybe not quite, but you're going to be mostly there. You can lower your calorie intake by 300 to 500 calories a day on non-holiday meals. So like the week of Thanksgiving, eat less the leading up to that meal. The week of Christmas, eat less leading up to that meal. You can go on 5 or 6 snowshoes, hikes, etc. during the holiday season, right? That's probably going to equate to 5,000 calorie expenditure. You can just be more mindful at the holiday meals, right? So as long as you can kind of mitigate those holiday meals, that's also an option. You can skip super heavy, super calorie heavy drinks, right? So instead of having, the spiked eggnog at Christmas, which is like some absurd number, like 400 calories a cup, like it's a lot. Go for a lighter calorie drink. Just those small things, when it's only a pound or two, that's really all you need to do. Now, here's kind of the flip side of that. So kind of the first part of this discussion is holiday weight gain is not a huge problem, right? It's not a huge problem in the acute sense that like 1 pound is not going to make or break your whole life. Now the problem is the post holiday where like people go, hey, I'm going to actually lose the couple pounds I gained during the holidays. It doesn't actually happen. So if you're on the Facebook or the YouTube stream, I'm actually going to share some data with you. This is from a blog we just published. If you go to macrosinc.net/holiday holiday weight gain. I'll just put this in here. It's an article that kind of talks about this. We published this a couple days ago. But here is pre-holiday, so September to November, holiday, November to January. People gain on, like, if we add both of these together, that's probably 0.6 to 0.8 kilograms, which is a pound to 2 pounds. And then that post-holiday season, we just don't lose weight post-holiday unless we give it a very specific effort. We don't generally offset that. So that roughly pound, pound and a half. The reason that actually matters is if that occurs year over year over year over year over year, between 20 and 40, that's 20 pounds of body weight that's put on. We can probably attribute to the holidays, right? That's kind of where we've gotten this idea of like, hey, the holidays contribute to weight gain. And it has less to do with this number that you gain and more with, if we're not offsetting that, that can be the problem. So acutely year to year, you don't have a huge problem to address, right? It's not like, hey, I got to figure out how to avoid gaining 15 pounds over the holidays. Like, that's not generally the scope of the problem that we have. It's more in the lines of like, hey, how do I offset this roughly pound, pound and a half that I'm gaining? So that is the topic for the morning macro today. It's a quick hitter. I'm wearing my very festive llama sweatshirt because we have our annual Christmas party today, which when you're remotely means we're all going to be at Zoom shouting on each other, probably playing Christmas music way too loud and no one will actually hear anything in the conversation. But that's how that's going to go today. We have topics selected for next Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. So I'll be live Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday of next week. If you guys are interested, there is a new blog series that is on the website. I'm going to share it with you. It's what do I do after I reach my weight loss goal? So we're doing a mini series on maintenance. I have parts 1 through 4 written. Part 1 got published yesterday. Part 2 will probably get published today or tomorrow. And then so on and so forth until we get them all done. I have no idea how many parts are going to be in the mini-series. There might be 5, there might be 25. Just depends on how many shower thoughts of inspiration they get. So that's the topic for today. I do have some questions I will knock out for you here as well. Miranda asked, is it 3,000 to 5,000 more than maintenance deficit per week or daily? So kind of that number I just roughly threw out in this article is roughly a pound of body fat is somewhere in the neighborhood of 3,000 to 5,000 calories a day. It kind of depends on the person. We kind of used 3,500 as the average number. But so you got to figure out over the span of where you're gaining a pound, how to offset somewhere in that neighborhood. So it's not per week or per day. It's kind of over that holiday season. That's kind of the way to think about it. Somebody said, I'm just here to see the Falala llama sweater. This may be the best $20 I've ever spent in my life. I'm pretty excited about it. It even has a little scarf that comes off of the sweatshirt. So it's kind of a 3D sweatshirt as well. Pretty pumped about that. Maybe I can convince someone to make a Macros Inc. branded one and I can wear it all year round. That would be awesome. The next person said, I love the cookies and I make a lot of traditional cookies, #no control. You can send those cookies to my house and they will be disposed of either by me or I will disperse them to the masses. So you can always just dispose of cookies at my house. And with that, I'm out of here. I'm not sure if my Instagram worked today. I thought I pressed the live button. Maybe I didn't. I'm not entirely sure. Looks like maybe we're not live. Maybe we are live. But we're live here. I do know that because the live red button is on here. So that's all. We should see a new logo on this next week. I'm waiting back from the designers to do that. Other than that, I'm Dr. Brad. I'm out of here. We will see you guys Monday. Take care.